In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. This is like well over episode 200 now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about
Hit that little mark. My name's Mason Knight. Obviously, your name is...
By 200, you should know my name by now,
that's right.
You son of a bitch.
Kraus. Mr.
Something
Kraus himself.
Something Kraus.
Yes.
Yes, you can call me Cash.
Cash
Just for this episode.
Okay, just for this one.
Any other one, it's back to Mr. Kraus.
Okay.
Or Big Papa.
Good to know.
Mason, what are we here to talk about?
We're here to talk about something that makes me a little sleepy.
Look over your left shoulder. Who is that man?
Oh my goodness. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Look at that 5 head he's got rolling there.
Yeah, that's
It's more forehead than it is face.
It is. That's actually very scary. It's The Shining.
We're not here to talk about The Shining.
No, we're here to talk about Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, the new sequel to The Shining, 30 years in the making.
Yeah.
Directed by a director I like a lot, Mike
yeah.
Flanagan.
Who's directed a lot of awesome things. For one, that Haunting in Hill House.
Haunting in Hill House, that was great. And also Gerald's Game that I loved.
Yeah, Gerald's Game was really good. We just reviewed that, actually, this month on the podcast as well.
If you haven't, another Stephen King.
Yep.
And yeah, I kind of think he was kind of... Mike Flanagan maybe was put on Earth to make Stephen King movies.
King adapted films.
Because no one has been able to really do it. Mm-mm. And it seems like we might have found someone that is able to adapt his books into films, because that's very hard to do.
It is very hard to do.
Because his films are very detailed.
And I don't think they did a bad job with it necessarily. I thought that was a good I don't either, yeah. But I know the It Chapter 2 left a lot of people scratching their heads because a lot of people didn't read the book, and they're like, what's with all this random stuff?
Yeah.
But if you read the book, you understand it's part of the book.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely, I definitely liked the first It more than the second one.
Absolutely.
But I thought both of them, they're definitely probably some of the best Stephen King.
Yes. And the performances
films
alone
were
incredible. With Bill Hader, Jessica Chastain.
We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Dr. Sleep. And
Yes.
this is starring our guy, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes,
the
Ian
best
McGregor.
Jedi in the goddamn galaxy. He's kind of has Jedi powers in this.
Oh, no, he definitely does. Yeah.
He's definitely one for the Force in all of his movies.
He just doesn't want to use them ever. Yeah.
But,
suppresses those powers.
What did you think about this movie, Mason? I'm excited to hear your take on it.
I was torn. I liked it.
Were you Danny
but then
Torrance?
I didn't like it. Ooh, Torrance torn? Yeah, I was Torrance torn. There were a lot of aspects I enjoyed about the film, but some things that I felt disconnected. That I felt like it was going down two different paths.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a lot of creative pull going back and forth. With Stephen King and Mike Flanagan, I can only assume. Because we all know that we're not here to talk about The Shining either, but it's in relativity to this. Stephen King wasn't a big fan of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
And it is important to note that this is a sequel to the movie The Shining.
Correct.
And
not
it's
the book.
not the sequel to the book.
Yeah.
And that
was something Mike Flanagan stressed to Stephen King.
Yeah, it's something that Stephen King was kind of confused about, I heard, because I heard when he was on set, which, again, I don't think he is on set very often, Stephen King.
He'd be on set every day because all of his books get turned to movies.
Well, yeah,
he just had The Tall Grass or whatever on Netflix.
But he knows by now, and I do know that he knows this, is that he knows to keep a distance from his film. Because anything that he tried to make into a film, and even when he did direct a film, they're all horrible. Anytime he had any say in it, they turned to shit because. But I think he knows to distance himself. But yeah, like you said, when he was on set, I heard they had to remind him a few things that were in The Shining because he couldn't remember.
Well, because more fans associate themselves with the movie than with the book.
Absolutely.
And so you have
Although the book is fucking fantastic.
It is, absolutely.
It's one of the greatest books ever.
Still, majority of American fans, the overall film fans as well, base it off the classic Shining.
Oh yeah, because it's one of the greatest movies of all time. I mean,
really
it's one of the greatest movies of all time. But yeah, it's and he did not like that. But The Shining is the movie. The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's movie, is definitely different from the book. Mm-hmm. It steers.
Well, that's why King didn't like it.
No, but King has. I've heard that he has grown to appreciate it, mm-hmm. Which. Of course, because I mean, after 30 years of everyone telling him this movie is fucking amazing,
awesome, and it's so successful that it's like and iconic. But
it would be hard. It would be hard, absolutely, because one, he had everyone saying The Shining was one of the best books ever. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure he was left sitting with like, oh, it's one of the best books. Then why not take more from one of the best books ever?
But sometimes with film, it just doesn't translate 100%
ever,
and you have to make something that's appeasing to the eyes and something that
and you have to cut out so much, but still keep.
Still have it make sense.
And that's what I think Mike Flanagan does a good job of. I think he does a good job of cutting out a lot of those parts that you would only really go into detail about if you're reading the book.
Yeah.
But for this one, I felt it might have been a little bit too much cutting out. One thing that I thought was I felt like I needed to know more about all the bad guys. Like I felt like there's definitely a story there for each and every one of them, and I guarantee the book does get into detail about that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like
are you talking about like the people who suck the mist, the like psychic vampire people?
They're called something. Yeah, they're psychic vampires, but yeah, they're called. What are they called?
The True Knots.
Yes, known as the True Knots, yeah. But yeah, that's... And like you said, for this movie, I was torn, super torn. There's some scenes that I absolutely loved. Mm-hmm. And some scenes where I just thought they drug on way too long. And I thought they didn't move the story along either. Yeah. So I was very torn, because some scenes were great. But then again, it was like almost Star Wars The Last Jedi-esque, where I was so torn between like some scenes were amazing and some scenes, and to me it wasn't definitely. I mean, I'm gonna keep comparing to The Shining. I know I shouldn't because it's supposed to be something separate, but it wasn't nearly as scary for me. It was almost to me dipped in like a dark fantasy movie more than horror. Had a lot of magic, a lot of like
it did,
and a lot of and it didn't. And there was a few scenes that were scary, but a lot of it just seemed like it was more of like a fantasy film.
Yeah.
With really dark.
I totally agree with that because The Shining, even though it deals with like horror and stuff, felt a lot more grounded in reality in some weird way than this one. This one kind of felt more of like, oh, there's supernatural people. Oh, and there's these bad guys who are millennium years old. Yeah. Coming after these children. It almost, you're right. It felt
the whole
fantasy.
The whole thing in The Shining was like you never really knew if there was actual ghost or not. Mm-hmm. You know, this could be a cabin fever kind of thing. It never goes. Where in the book The Shining, it straight up tells you, oh, there's fucking ghosts. And this place is like a portal to hell, and it's all kinds of magic. This definitely goes that way, where it's like people are fucking super magic. Yeah. And there's a lot of them everywhere, but people don't know that they have the shine. And we get, even because Scatman Carruthers comes in, and he's in there a lot.
Yeah, he is.
And one thing I liked, we'll start talking about the movie, but one thing I liked a lot was they chose actors to play them instead of CGI.
Okay. I like the guy who played Scatman.
Great.
Everyone else couldn't stand.
What? Yeah. I liked who they chose to play Shelley Duvall.
I did not like that at all. You like that choice?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Why pick in no shade to,
because no one looks like Shelley Duvall. You got to get someone just close enough to look like Shelley Duvall.
But you couldn't put prosthetics on or anything or some sort of like. Because they did that for Freddie Mercury with Bohemian Rhapsody, where they changed the structure of his jaw and his.
Yeah, they just had to do that with the teeth because fucking Freddie Mercury has the biggest teeth on earth, and no one. You have to have prosthetics. He literally had 9 extra teeth.
Shelley Duvall though. I mean, she.
Yeah, but I don't think you could have prosthetics to where it would look natural. Because Shelley Duvall is like, her eyes are kind of farther apart than other people's eyes. I don't think you could prosthetically do that where it would look good at all.
I just thought they picked someone who was just like, and no shade to Shelley, great actress, but someone that was like a drop dead gorgeous woman. They had play as the mom, and I didn't like that.
Oh, I thought they just got her as similar as possible to where you can also get a good actress too. I didn't mind, and I didn't mind the actor who played Danny either.
Well, Danny? Oh, you mean the little
young
boy
Danny.
Danny?
Yeah,
okay,
young Danny. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I love Ian McGregor in this, but
yeah, because
no,
yeah,
the boy was fine. I like the boy playing this too.
I'd rather have actors that might even not even look as similar that have CGI. Any day of the goddamn week, give me a real live person than a CGI, because I think it still made me feel more immersed in the movie. Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna be able to. She wasn't in it very often.
No, she wasn't.
Which they knew. I mean, hats off to Mike Flanagan. He knew not to have her in too much.
Who was the Oh, Jack Torrance here. Henry Thomas played Jack Torrance in this.
Yeah, Henry Thomas.
Yeah. He's in everything. Gerald's Game. He's in.
He lives right down the
not
road.
Gerald's Game. Whatever. No,
it wasn't Gerald's
it was Gerald's Game.
Yeah.
And Haunting on Hill House.
Yeah, and E.T.
Well, of course.
And he loves to drive
That's
drunk.
Iconic. And he loves to, have a few and get behind the wheel. Why not?
It's one of his favorite hobbies because he keeps doing it. I think he might be still be in jail. But man, he's laying in rolls.
He is making good money for
but
himself.
I like Henry Thomas, but I was not a fan of him playing Jack Torrance.
No, and that's what I was saying too. Like I wasn't a fan
I didn't think
of
they
it.
were gonna show him.
I didn't want to see his face. If we
exactly,
yeah.
The whole time I was thinking, don't show his face.
Nope.
Don't unless you got somehow someone to play or someone that look a lot like him.
Or I would have been okay with like a chase scene where it's like vaguely you can kind of see. Like that one chase scene that they had.
I would have either they just showed him, never pan up, but get a guy that can do an exact fucking impression of him.
Correct.
Then you don't have to pay and never show him. But then you're hearing, because Henry Thomas, he wasn't even doing a Jack Nicholson impression.
No.
He was just doing Henry Thomas.
Right. And
he was trying to do a little, but
that was my frustration with it, because this is one of the few instances where it took me out of the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Not seeing Jack Nicholson's face. Had they had, because it's such an iconic role. Again, we go back to that. Jack Torrance is such an iconic role that no one else can play it but Jack Nicholson.
Well, that was my big complaint about this whole movie was I thought this movie shined the brightest when it stepped out of the shadow of The Shining.
Yes.
There's so many scenes where they're just trying to like appease Shining fans, I guess, and be like, we have to have this in there. We have to have all these other scenes from The Shining because people are gonna love that. But
to be fair, I did like majority of the callbacks to The Shining.
I like some of them,
flashback scenes,
but some of them where they were just doing straight up like remakes of The Shining, like scenes where like he started chasing down the girl just like Jack Nicholson chased. I mean, it was like, you don't need to show me that. I saw that in the first movie. Do something different. I thought for me. I thought it was the strongest when it was just being Dr. Sleep, like the astral projection scenes and stuff like that.
Or the cat scenes with the hospice patients were brilliant.
Those were some of the best scenes.
So much.
Those were some of the best scenes. Yeah,
they could elaborated so much more on that.
Yeah,
and then
and those things weren't scary at all.
Called Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, I thought those were. That's what I was thinking too. I'm like, oh, these are the best scenes, are just him with these old people and then him like waiting for them to go to the other side.
Finally realizing that his powers, they don't have to be bad. You can use them for good too.
But again, either of us have read the book, so maybe this.
I got halfway through it.
Maybe this. Oh, did you?
Yeah, I tried to finish it before I saw the movie, but I didn't.
But I do want to read it because what this movie did best was just interest me in the story. I just wanted more because I want to know more about.
I heard the book is a lot of car rides. Dialogue.
Well, I don't mind.
There's a lot of chasing and stuff like that.
Well, Stephen King books are a lot of dialogue.
Well, obviously, yeah.
I mean, but I don't mind that. Let's talk about Rebecca Ferguson, though, who I thought stole the show.
She was fantastic.
I love Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor did great here. Absolutely. I mean, I don't think you probably could have picked a better Danny Torrance. But, Rose the Hat.
She was awesome.
Was fucking great.
And
the only villain, her and the Crow, I can't remember who plays the Crow, are by far, I don't even know why they had those other characters in the movie.
I agree with you. I felt like they were just kind of pointless, didn't need to be said.
They were just bodies. For some reason, they had to do that action scene at the end with the shootout and everything. They just needed people to kill. Because, I mean, if you're going to have more bad people, I got to know, what was the other guy called? The
Crow Daddy is Zahn McLaren.
He's been in other stuff. I know I've seen him in more stuff, but Native American for sure. But and like there was the Crow, there was like
Snakebite, the girl, Emily Lind.
Yeah,
she was good.
What was the
I
fatter?
Liked her in that.
Yeah, but again, I felt like those are the kind of characters you can cut out of the book, from the book, and just have
the main.
Just have Rose,
they were
the
love
hat.
interest anyway.
And you know what else they had? Lurch played Grandpa Joe.
I know,
or whatever
that was awesome. He's in every
Mike Flanagan
single
is,
one. He brings people back. If
remember, I was just saying I've never heard him talk before.
Yeah, he had a lot of dialogue.
He had a lot of dialogue, and
awesome.
he did good.
Yeah, Carol Struckner. Or Strucken.
Yeah, he's not. Played Grandpa Flick. Yeah, and Barry the Chunk. That was who I was trying to think of. Yeah, all those characters I thought could have gone. I mean, there was no point. I felt like they were supposed to have a larger role in the movie that might have been cut out or something. But, as far as that went, those were kind of characters I thought you could have cut out.
Yeah, I agree.
Should we get into it? The
let's
story? Well, we already know, 1980, we already know what fucking happened.
Uh-huh.
But I love that they went in with the original, like, opening and whatnot, and they, they showed the Overlook.
Tricycle scene?
They showed the Overlook Hotel right off the bat, yeah. Yeah, they did the tricycle scene, and I'm glad, too, that they showed that old naked lady right at the back, because I was thinking in my head, are they going to show her?
Yeah.
But, man, she was in it all.
She was prominent. Maybe co-star. I think she got a co-star credit in this film.
And again, what Stanley Kubrick did so good was it showed her for a flash, a minute, so you never saw her. Here, you're seeing just full frontal. Like what I thought, she was like the main goddamn ghost.
She was.
But we learn is Danny is still being haunted by all these ghosts from the Overlook. Overlook shut down, but the ghosts are still fucking rowdy as hell. And
because they don't have anyone new to kind of feast their power on. And it gets more into that in the book. But to like be able to harness the power to use as like a battery source.
Well, maybe they shouldn't be killing entire families if you're trying to milk.
I know, if you're trying to milk it, don't kill the goat. You know,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
Not very wise. Milk's not going to come out after a little while. You know.
But again, what we learn is when Danny came to this hotel, he was a fucking hot spot.
He was.
I don't even know, just
like the best Wi-Fi.
Like they couldn't handle. They were just fucking busting their ghost loads all over the place when they found it. Because this kid, I know, and what are the odds, man? The most fucking shiny kid of all time just happens to go to the
Overlook Hotel.
Literally like it's a gateway to hell or whatever it is. But yeah, he's still being chased by these ghosts. But old Scatman, he's still fucking kicking.
Yeah, he is.
Or is he?
Because
he looks great.
He does look great. I gotta say,
for being 110 years old, he's looking very good. But yeah, he kind of he teaches Danny because Danny can't sleep. Danny hasn't talked since Overlook Hotel. It's gonna happen when your dad tries to kill you,
and when you're seeing ghosts all the time,
and when you know your dad's still fucking popsicle up in the maze, still chilling up there.
Yeah.
But Scatman tells him that a very cool scene I thought was when he showed him the box, and he's like, know this box inside and out, and he showed him that because he's gonna trap all these ghosts inside
and lock them away in his mind.
And it was cool. It was a cool scene. I like when he was sitting with the Shelley Duvall impersonator. And he just stands up and is like, I'm going to take care of this. Because he hears the lady in the bathroom.
Yeah, and he doesn't say a single word.
And the mom's like, what the hell?
Yeah, she's like, what are you doing? And he just walks to the bathroom.
It's fucking go. And he shuts the door behind him. He
shuts the door as she's
and
the
lady's just standing there. And that scene was pretty scary.
It was.
That was pretty good. But and then he just goes and sits back down. And he...
like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then she asks him again, are you okay? And then he finally answers.
Turns out he's not okay.
No.
Because he does another 30 years of drinking after this.
Yeah. And
which I don't know why. Wouldn't he have been better?
No. It was the only connection he had to his father.
Oh, yeah, drinking.
Was drinking. Yeah. That's it. He had no other connection with his
dad
father.
Also like beating his family too, and he didn't do that whole.
No, Danny did not beat his mom, so good for him.
Well, his dad like beating him.
His arm.
He like beating him too. Yeah.
Broke his arm when he was a little boy, and Shelley Duvall could never forgive him for that.
No, and
that's not her name in the movie, but yeah.
No, but that movie was, and that whole aspect was so deep in The Shining, where like, she'd never wanted to admit that her husband had a problem or anything, and she always said that Jack did it on accident.
Yeah.
When, No, it wasn't an accident.
No.
He was. I mean, we could see later on. The man had some anger.
He had some anger issues for sure.
But meanwhile, while this is happening, we find out about the fucking psychic vampires. Mm-hmm. This is Rose the Hat. This is the gang. They're kidnapping kids. They are murdering these kids gruesomely.
Yeah, in enjoying it a little too much.
Yeah, and they're getting...
It would be a very solemn thing for me if I had to murder children to stay alive. And they're just kind of having a fun time with it. They're like, got the Beach Boys cranked on. They're just like, wouldn't it be
it's a good time.
Kids
it's
up?
a good time at the campground. And you can't remember this is 1970s. So it's a wild time. We know this. Early 80s, late 70s. A lot of cocaine going on. And kids and parents are letting
responsibility for your actions.
Parents are letting their kids just take off. And in a campground of all places.
I know. And that girl was like 4 years old. Yeah. I would never let my 4-year-old daughter wander around. If you're going to get fucking
murdered by a quasi-psychic vampire cult, it's gonna take place in a fucking campground.
Exactly.
But they murder and they take their essence. They do the fucking the crystal skull
thing. Yeah, the dark crystal. Yeah, that's hilarious.
They dark crystal them.
Yeah,
and they have a little like secret of the ooze container.
Yeah,
and they keep their essence.
Inhales the essence. I know we're gonna call it essence this whole podcast.
It's steam.
It's called steam. Yeah.
Yeah. What? Where'd they get that canister at?
I don't know.
Is there a scientist making these
just a special one? He's like, yeah, I know there's psychic vampires everywhere.
I like that, though, and I liked how when she opened up her little steam closet, some of the canisters had like little jackets on them and stuff of the people.
I know.
Like they put like faces or something. Like they made them.
It's like those
personality.
Like
I want to remember
like beer bottle or something.
Yeah. But so fast forward. It's 2011 now. Mm-hmm. Obama's president.
He is.
Things are looking up.
Yes.
But things aren't looking up for Dan.
No.
He's a hard alcoholic. He's got an alcoholic beard. And something I appreciated and something you got to give to Mike Flanagan is they made Dan Torrance, when he was an alcoholic, he was bloated and fatted.
He was.
That's a small detail. And we see like 4 years later, or whatever, 6 years, 8 years, whatever later.
He's slim. He looks good.
Because that's always when your face bloats up. Yeah. When you're a ton of alcohol, your entire body just absorbs water because it fucking needs it.
Yeah.
But that always happens to alcoholics. You get real puffy, and as soon as you stop drinking, you lose a bunch of all that water weight and stuff. But I like that little detail, and that's something I like about Mike Flanagan too. But he's still traumatized. Alcoholic. Definitely. He's like he's having sex with this fucking bar hoe. I guess you'd call. You just
after he smashes the shit out of those two guys with the pool ball.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how you don't go to prison for that immediately.
I don't know, man. He's got some Jack Torrance anger behind him.
He's got that pent up aggression towards his father. He's just not
because he's a great fighter.
He's a really good fighter. I mean,
most alcoholics, I don't think they are. Yeah,
that man needs to be in a cage.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm not talking the
billiard part. Yeah, you mean a jail cell? Because he murdered those people.
Cage fighting.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty impressive.
He man should be in a cage because he killed those two people.
Either one, yeah.
But he begins.
It's like a Myles Garrett situation here.
Yeah, for real, dude. That guy's a straight up killer.
Yeah, yes.
But and he just randomly eventually just winds up in this town. It doesn't get into why he even went up there at all. He just went north, they said. I'm guessing Maine, because it's always fucking Maine. Mm. But he just wound up in this town, and he finally again, this is something that I felt was just sped up, where he was able to
it wasn't because the turning was, remember that day? When he left the girl, we got to talk about the little.
Oh yeah, I forgot. He almost.
So she's puked. There's puke on the bed. He wakes up. It's gross.
Oh my God.
They were doing a bunch of cocaine and stuff the night before.
Yeah,
and you can tell.
No condoms in that room.
No, definitely no condoms there. There's cocaine and stuff everywhere, and there's puke.
Mattress on the floor. It's a typical scene. No one can ever afford a box spring.
Not if you're doing coke as much as they were doing.
You sell the box spring for coke. But yeah, it's a horrible, horrible room, and it turns out that she has a baby.
Yeah, she does. Because he's like, where's all my money? Looking at his wallet. She's passed out, puked on the bed.
She ended up stealing his money.
Right. And so he went back and stole hers. And then he sees the baby there. He sees the mom laying in her own vomit.
Yeah.
And then Scatman shows up.
Yeah, we have to even go back further because we find out that Scatman is dead.
Oh yeah, Scatman's dead for sure. He's at the park bench,
but he's one of the spirits that's followed Dan around, and I liked that I like that entire aspect. I want to dive so much deeper in that.
Yes, and that all wraps up, and I love the way they wrapped it up at the end of the film too.
So do I.
Because I was like, everyone has their mentor.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at least the Shining moves on.
And he tells him right. He tells him right at the start, or Scatman tells him when Danny's a kid that someday you're going to be doing the same thing for someone else. Yes. Someone else in need. And I like that scene where Danny's a little kid and he turns around, and Scatman's gone, and then he just like kidnapped Danny. Remember, his mom's freaking out. She's like 4 blocks away.
Yeah.
He walked him down to the park or something.
He's so irresponsible.
It's like, okay, you got to get back to your mom now.
Could you just talk him to the next room over?
And he turns around and everyone's just freaking out that he's just walked away. Yeah. But yeah, I like that a lot. He's got a Scatman kind of looking out for him.
Yeah.
Poor Scatman can't pass on to the other side.
No, he can't. He's got to just wait for Danny Boy to pass over himself.
But yeah. But he always had a connection to Danny.
He did.
Because remember, even The Shining, he wakes up from Florida or wherever he was. Yeah. Remember, because he had like a vacation home. And he gets on the first fucking plane out of there. But yeah, so fast forward, he almost robs the mom because he's thinking, he robbed me, but then Scatman's like, come on, kid.
Well, he does it anyway, doesn't he?
He takes a few bucks.
Yeah, he takes...
Yeah, he takes like $10, but he leaves the majority of it. And then he just like puts the baby in like the puke.
Yeah, sets the baby right next to the mom. Yeah. And when I saw the puke, I go, there's a reason they showed that. Because normally they would just show, a mom passed out on the bed from a night out. But the way she was laying, it didn't look right to me.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like...
To be honest, she could have been dead.
Yeah. And all it would have took from Danny, and I think this is where the character really changes, because all it would have took from him, it wouldn't have taken much. Just make a phone call. Like, hey, there's a woman passed out in her apartment. I don't know if she's okay. He didn't even have enough common courtesy to even do that.
No, well, yeah, at this point, he was just a horrible, horrible person. He's an alcoholic. Yeah. The only thing he cares about is getting, his next drink and whatnot. But when the fact he's got a disease,
right? And he physically moved that child and set next to the mother, knowing too. The way he was looking at her, he knew to some level extent she wasn't good.
Oh,
and he left the baby there anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but he did give her some Cheez-Its.
To be fair.
So he was looking out for her.
He was, a little while.
I mean, he was hoping that the baby was going to wake up the mom, but that mom seemed like she was pretty out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so fast forward 2019, Dan's starting to hit the rehab. He found a really good buddy. It's The Rock's brother from Fast and Furious. We all remember him.
Yep. You know what's so funny is I said yep, but I could not figure out where I recognized him from. I was like, I know this guy.
Yeah, he's The Rock's brother. He plays the exact same character.
And Hobbs and Shaw, though, right?
Hobbs and Shaw, yes. Yeah.
But you're right. I didn't know, and now I know. Good call.
But yeah, he immediately finds this guy. And to me, this guy had some... It never gets into it, but I feel like maybe he had some kind of shine also. Because they talk about...
Billy Freeman?
Yeah.
Well, the character's name.
Yeah, the Billy character. Freeman. Yeah, I always feel... Or to me, because he's like, he's like, I just get these feelings sometimes about people. Because Dan's like... Because he just randomly, he just gives this guy like so much credit. Yeah, I got you a house. I got your apartment.
He paid for it in his apartment,
you got a job now. I'm like, you met this guy 3 minutes ago, and he's got puke like dripping from his... He's got a beard. He's got all kinds of shit.
He's still got a little cocaine in his nose. I mean, it's not good. It's not a good scenario.
No, and he's obviously... But the guy knows. He's like, what are you running from? And he's like, he's running from himself.
Well, what he says too is he's like, I've seen that look before. I know that look.
Because he was obviously an old alcoholic as well. And someone helped him too. But he gives him a job.
He does.
And it's fucking... what's his name? Greenwood. From Gerald's Game, who gives him the job, the doctor.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
What's his name? Mike? Go down a little bit.
He wasn't
Bruce
in it
Greenwood.
very much. Yeah, Bruce.
Yeah, he just plays the doctor. He gives him a job. And I don't know if you noticed this, but the office is the same exact office that Jack Torrance got the job
I did notice
from
that.
The Shining.
Yeah.
I like that.
That was great.
Lot. As soon as I saw that,
and that was one of those small things too that you had to pay attention to.
But it was
I saw it
down
right away.
to the exact detail. It was perfect. Yeah, which is.
There were a lot of callbacks throughout this whole movie. A lot of them on the nose, but some of them a little more subtle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. There were some that they shoved in your face, but I always like the subtle ones, the ones that you got to pay attention. And so he's getting better, right?
Yes,
and right at this time, he's also getting messages from this little girl. That's
He's
normal.
got a pen pal, a psychic pen pal.
He does, and this girl seems pretty fucking powerful. to me.
She's very powerful.
She's
she's like the chosen one in Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know?
She's well, this is 2011 still. She's little at the time, this little girl, and they start talking and whatnot. And it shows the girl does like a little birthday party scene where she puts all the spoons on the, you know.
Well, because Abra's her name.
Yeah, Abra Stone.
And there was a magician at her party, and she's like, "Oh, I can do that." Because the magician did like a hat trick with
and everyone's like, shut up, kid.
Little girl. And then
Idiot.
She went into the kitchen with her parents.
Turns out she's got way better magic tricks.
Yeah. Honestly, I would pay $200 to see her show
pay tenfold
in Las Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely. She already has the perfect magician's name,
yeah,
Abra.
Like, it doesn't get any better.
You're changing that last name from Stone to Cadabra.
Cadabra, yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Put your own spin on it, too. Just spell it a little different.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a moneymaker is what that bad boy is.
It's easy. It's simple. But, yeah, so she's getting, and her parents, we get a little sense that her parents are very scared, as anyone would be. But then we get fast forward to 2019. Yep. Oh, and at this time, we meet Snakebite, which I thought she was just a throwaway character. I don't even know why they brought her into the story.
When they made her prominent, too. It was like a big thing where I was
where
like,
I thought
okay,
maybe she was going to be like the leader or something at some point.
Or that, like, eventually she would turn good.
Yes.
And, like, nothing happened. It was just she was bad and died. And you know, I was like, weird.
Again, something that I think probably has a way bigger role in the book in the movie, but for some reason they just couldn't leave that out. But I guess it kind of establishes their powers a little bit. But yeah, so the crow.
It was a little confusing to me, Snakebite too, because originally when they found her, she was actually doing a good thing. Because she was getting the men who were trying to have sex with teenagers.
Yeah.
And she was like doing the actual snakebite thing.
Yeah.
So she was like a good person trying to do good with her powers. But then she turned into, the True Knot. And then she was just flat out evil, killing children. I thought that was so strange to me that she went from one extreme to like doing a good thing and like protecting children to literally killing children.
I don't think in the movie's mind or anything that she was actually doing good by I don't think she thought she was really doing. She was just robbing these guys.
Yeah.
These guys. I mean, if she was doing good, she would have like called the cops.
That's true. Yeah. But she did give him the mark so that everyone knew, or at least all the other people.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna know if I see 2 scratches on a guy. Like, oh my god, that guy's a pedophile. Yeah. I'm gonna assume maybe he got bit by an actual snake or something. True. I'm not gonna guess. Oh, you're a pedophile because you have some accident.
That would definitely be jumping to conclusions. He's got one scar.
So she wasn't really good. She was just robbing these guys because she was obviously like molested. I'm guessing as a kid. So now and she's only 15. We gotta say that, and she stays 15 the whole time because they end up drafting her.
They do.
Early first round draft pick. They said she's called a pusher. She's got great fucking powers.
Yeah,
and the group, the True Knots, haven't had a pusher in a long time. And a pusher is someone that can make you do things, I guess.
It's like a hypnotic power where they tell you to do something and you do it. Like an old Jedi mind trick.
It's exactly a Jedi mind trick, which they steal a lot from Star Wars.
They do steal a lot from Star Wars, to be fair.
But, and it's a cool scene because we show that how powerful Rose the Hat is because Snakebite tries to control her and nothing happens.
She just brushes that one off.
Yeah.
Nice
and I also
try,
want to know more about the hat. The hat seemed weird. And the whole time no one could touch the hat.
Nope.
But it never got into what.
It did not.
Did the hat give her the power?
That's what I was wondering. And see, I haven't finished the book yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, and that's something that I thought at some point someone's going to destroy the hat, destroy her, like it's her Horcrux or something. Like it's. But no, we never got really into it.
Well, that's the thing, too. Like, I really thought it was going to jump more into it. And I'm not jumping forward. I'm just using this as an example. But with that Abra scene in the grocery store, when she gets shot back and the hat falls off, and the lady's like, "Oh, you want me to grab it?"
Yeah, she goes, no. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be more behind that later on. She was going to touch the
hat and fucking spontaneously combust or some shit. Yeah,
turn into mist or something.
Or maybe they get powers once they have the hat. Like, it's just a magic hat, I thought.
I want to know where you can buy this thing.
I know. It's a great looking hat, though.
It is.
It's very, like, I don't know.
Traditional
very rocker.
20s.
Yeah. But
it is rocker, too. It's like Slash.
It's like Slash or... fuck, I can't remember his name. I'm not going to remember his name.
That's
but,
okay.
Yeah, it's very...
Do you have a band?
No.
Okay.
I don't have a band. But, yeah, so she can't take the hat off. It's established that. But the hat, she can, like, do magic out of the hat.
She can.
Which is pretty fucking
And that's what she did with the little girl in the beginning with the flower, changing the colors.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, I can do that, too.
Yeah, and she's like,
can. And not for long. But
yeah, and I like she starts eating the flowers, and the girl goes, "Don't eat them." And she's like, "Oh, the unique ones always taste the best."
Yep.
And it also kind of got into the entire time I was thinking it was like, well, because it's Stephen King, but this is straight up it. He feeds off the same steam that these people feed off, except it shows the steam in this, where I'm guessing we just can't see the steam as. Well, and
that's always a good. Because in it he fed off fear, but they said it tastes better with the fear as well.
Yeah,
that's why they.
So it's got to be the same thing.
Yeah, the whole Jacob Tremblay scene, like they wanted his fear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I thought like, that has to be. I'm guessing that was in Stephen King's mind, was that it has to be like the same thing.
Do you wonder if they're the same creatures or get the same power source from that?
I don't think they're obviously not. I think they have some kind of power that, because remember, they all called the shine. And it's come from those lights, so I'm guessing they just have some kind of variation. Where obviously they're not nearly as powerful as because he's concentrated power.
Yeah, and my question too on that is because we come to find out that they're thousands of years old. I mean, we get into the Roman times.
And we know that it came down millions of years ago. So it's possible when he landed, he fucking dispersed this. Whatever. I mean, we're getting into fan theories right now, but it's possible that he came down and he dispersed this shine and it just fucking over generations and generations was passed down, when he landed.
Those were the questions I had too.
So was I, that's what, and we'll never know. It's just speculation, but it's fun to think about. Absolutely. Yeah. And it's fun to know that all of his books are connected. So, I mean, why not? Why aren't we right?
Yeah.
But, So by 2019, the True Knots, they're fucking starving. Yes. And they're blaming TV and shit. The whole time I'm like, maybe it's because you're just fucking... You're overhunting.
Yeah.
It's like the buffaloes. I mean...
we killed them all. That's why they...
And then they blamed it on the Native Americans. Those bastards are killing them.
And then you go back to like historic photos and they're just standing on a mountain of skeletons.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You guys were the
ones. At one point, there was only, I don't know why we're getting it, but at one point, there was only, I think, 18 buffaloes remaining.
No, they were like million, and we had rare.
Yeah, because the white man would kill it just for the pelt, where Indians used every part of it. They just throw away all the
meat. Away the whole.
But yeah, it was the same exact thing as what they're doing. They blamed it on TV and shit, but it's just like they were eating a kid a fucking week.
Yeah,
they were living good.
And Rose the Hat was keeping a plenty of storage on that steam. I'm like, look, bitch, you're kind of almost a hoarder at this point.
And this is literally all they do. They literally only hunt.
Well, and it didn't get into this too much, but I know in the book that they're actually billionaires and they're supposed to be part of the elite class. And they did that a little differly in this book.
Well,
in this movie.
They just barely get into that in the movie.
They do.
Because remember, they're
One
like...
instance with the father.
They're like, who are you going to call? He's like, these people have been around for thousands of years. Yes. He's like...
They're higher than
higher than anyone else. Yeah, I like that they just barely get into that. But again, that's something that I would want, as reading the book, for it to get more and more into. Yeah. Because that's pretty cool. I love that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's total fucking millionaire just sucking the life out of fucking kids and these children, yeah. But yeah, and they say they have no need for money or anything. They don't any monetary value. Or they do have some kick-ass Winnebagos. All the True Knots.
What the hell is a Winnebago?
An RV?
Oh, yes, they do.
Oh my God, you know what a Winnebago is?
Don't.
Oh man,
I'll never buy a trailer in my life.
I'm not gonna buy one either, but I know what a Winnebago.
Well,
man, in the 70s, Winnebagos were everywhere. Yeah. But yeah, they had a kick-ass caravan.
Yeah, they had a posse. They had a crew.
Oh yeah,
that's for sure.
And I liked how they like decorated it like super gypsy. Like
gypsy-esque.
They know this is just like But yeah, so 2019 they're starving, but they get a big hit from a powerful kid, and this kid's using his shine for once a good. He's just knocking homers.
Yeah, he is.
Everyone else is using it to eat people and whatnot. I'd be using it to gamble. I'd be using it to, predict people's names. Some shit like that. Something I can make money from.
Make some street money.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing like a street show in Venice or something.
Not fucking sucking the life out of people, just getting rich while I have it. But Nathan Tremblay, who's in fucking everything now.
And not only that, but wow, what a great cast for this role.
Yeah, and they don't even advertise him anymore.
No, they don't. They just throw him in.
That kid cannot be getting an education.
There's no
not
way.
A chance.
But does he need one when he's that good? Because in all fairness, when we get to that,
someone needs to tell him how to do his taxes.
Yeah,
that's what actors always.
He's gonna end up like Wesley Snipes, and
that's
be in
a
jail
common
before he's
actor
18.
thing. We're like, you got to get some kind of education under your belt. But he's we can get the scene right now because they abduct him right here.
Yeah, they do.
They go to the baseball game and
they're scouting him out.
Yeah,
and interestingly enough, just so you know this, the original kid who played Danny is one of the spectators at the baseball game. I
did know that. Yeah. And he's only this is how good the casting was. Is I heard he's only 2 years older in real life than Ewan McGregor is. So that's pretty damn good.
Pretty close,
they're damn
too.
near. Ewan McGregor's damn near was the same age as Danny Torrance when it came out or whatever. But pretty cool. But and I was thinking when they went because they go to like Illinois or something. I was thinking
it's like some farm.
Is this
country.
Children of the Corn? It's got to be something of Children of the Corn.
Oh yeah, that would be another good tie-in too.
I wasn't sure because I thought they said the name of the town, but I can't remember the town. But they abduct a boy and this is by far in my opinion the scariest scene of the movie. Was them abducting them.
It was terrifying.
Torturing.
Absolutely
I'm glad
terrifying.
they didn't shy away from it because that could have easily been done off screen.
And it could have been lame.
Absolutely, because it's always, I think in these type of movies, it's always so important for me as a viewer to establish the bad guys need to be bad.
Yes.
Because later on in the movie, when the good guy is fighting them, you got to be rooting for them. They got to be really, really bad.
Well, you have to be invested into the characters too, and it makes you more invested not only on the bad side but also on the good side for your hero to win.
And so many movies, they'll just tell you like this guy's bad, and we just gotta assume that this guy was born bad. And
they murder someone off camera.
Exactly.
And you're like, okay, or like a little blood spurt to the face, and you're like, it doesn't have the same effect.
Or they kill one person, and it's like, is this worth going to hell to bring this guy in after he killed one person? And I'm like doing millions of dollars in damage. Is this worth? This gave a good overall feeling of these people are fucking horrible and we should be hating these people.
Totally.
That's it. And we do.
And we definitely do because they kidnap them and they're laughing in the van. Crow himself in the front seat.
Crow and what's the guy's name?
Barry
Fat
the Butcher.
Pat?
Or what is it?
Barry the...
God damn.
Barry the Tub. Barry the Chunk.
Barry the Chunk. That's what it is. Barry the Chunk. Yeah. Yeah, and they're just kind of like laughing. They think this shit's hilarious. Because, I mean, they've done it for thousands of years.
One guy's done it since ancient Rome.
Ancient Rome, yeah, and the gladiators.
That's Grandpa Flick.
Grandpa Flick.
Yeah, he's been
around
old.
a while. He's old as dirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they're laughing, and then they tie him up. And Rose the Hat, this is when you really knew, like, they were evil. And Tremblay does a fantastic job acting.
Yeah.
I genuinely, truly felt the fear out of that kid.
And the way they swarm when the steam comes, like rats or something.
Yeah.
They immediately just swarm like zombies almost. It's really quick. I like those scenes and like
it's
the
kind of
overhead
vampire-esque
shots
too. As far as
well they are, yeah,
all
absolutely,
like sucking blood, and they're not sucking blood; they're sucking steam.
Yeah, they're just breathing that steam in. But yeah, I liked again. All my favorite scenes are scenes where it's Doctor Sleep scenes. It's not Shining 2 scenes. But yeah, they stab Nathan Tremblay, and it lasts like 10 minutes.
It does. It lasts a long time. And before they kill him, he's like, "You're not going to hurt me," and she goes, "Yeah, we are." He's like, "You're not going to kill me, are you?" She goes, "Oh, we love the fear." And then you're right. It lasts 10 minutes, but it's sadistic what they do. They don't just kill the kid; they stab him in the leg, and they're torturing the child.
It's brutal.
Yeah,
they're
torturing the child while the steam comes out because it's slowly coming out. It's like milking a goat.
Yeah,
before you
and they gotta like fucking wheel Grandpa Flick up there because he's hurt.
Yeah, he's struggling at this point.
They gotta wheel him.
Steam.
They gotta wheel him up there, and he does get He gets the first, which they're very polite to their elders because they let him have first dibs on.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's nice.
But again, we get the feeling that they're very desperate for the steam, and they're also very like a tight knit
family community.
And they say like. I think it's part of the process is because we go through the kind of the moment of Snake by joining the group.
Yeah, and then she asks, "Am I human?"
Yeah, she says it doesn't matter. Yeah, but we get the sense that they're all connected once you start doing that, and because once one person dies, they all kind of get hurt.
They all kind of feel it too.
But
like Rose was feeling it later on.
But this whole time, while Nathan Tremblay is getting the shit stabbed out of him, Abra fucking Kadabra, 1,000 miles away, is feeling the entire thing. Like,
yeah, and she's struggling a lot with this too. I mean, she's screaming at the top of her lungs.
It is a good scene. It's very well done.
She's writing murder, and it's a brutal scene, man. It lasted a long time, too. It made me feel very uneasy watching
Oh, yeah, very uncomfortable, like it was meant to.
And they didn't shy away from the blood, either. I mean, Tremblay was covered in blood.
Oh,
when they were cutting him open and stuff. I was just like, wow, they're really going for this. But I appreciate it because it made you that much more invested into the ending.
And it really made you fucking hate Rose the Hat.
Yeah.
It made you hate
beautiful
Rebecca
as she is.
Oh, my God, dude. Rebecca Ferguson. A bombshell.
Absolutely.
My
and man,
God.
her performance in this too, she kicks ass. Like, she's
absolutely.
a great actress. Like,
it's something about like gypsy women or something.
Yeah.
Like, they could put a curse on you. It's just something.
And you're like, you're
something
still
I
into
dig.
it.
Oh yeah, I think it's a danger. It's
I don't know what's going on. You might have put a spell on me.
But yeah, it's something I definitely dig for sure. You're not sure if they've maybe have they showered in a few weeks or not? They're a little dirty, but
stinky, but at the same time
they're always barefoot. Almost always it, but I was digging it for
so
sure.
Was I.
And they're all great looking people.
And the hat was a great look on her too.
Oh my God, absolutely. Yeah, and she had even like the Jack Sparrow like a feather in her hair, like a couple beads. It was working for me for sure.
It was working for me as well.
But flashed over, we forgot Dan. Dan's working in a hospice now. And probably the worst place to be if you're really connected to ghost. You would think.
I would say it would be a daily occurrence.
He'd be hesitant,
you're probably
but he
dealing with ghosts.
immediately ate up this job.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'll take it. Security, that's easy.
And they'll let fucking anyone around dead people.
Apparently
the thinking is they're already gone. Let this drunk who just got off the fucking bus, I smell the whiskey on his. Let him be around all of our elderly.
He'll definitely won't relapse and start drinking on the job with a
definitely won't steal your Vicodin and go through your purse.
Yeah, he has access to medicine and everything. Not the smartest move, folks. But weren't thinking that one through.
But it ends up turning out great.
It does.
Because
and he does stay sober.
Again, yeah, we were joking about these are some of the best scenes.
They are.
I mean, they're not scary at all, but they're very well done.
I love the way that they use the cat because those are actually real stories.
Oh, yeah.
Like, at hospice, they have animals, and they'll know when people are dying.
Weird.
It is.
Like, how do you explain it?
I don't know.
There's got to be some connection.
That, like, animals don't have.
But it's not every animal, though. It's not every cat.
It's not every cat.
It's like 1 in a fucking billion. Mm-hmm. But, like, yeah, like you said, I've heard at least a few stories of them going, and then they always just go and sit in your extra feet, and you go.
And then they go, adios, and they die, yeah.
Yeah, I would lock my fucking room.
Like, this is not happening to me.
Like, if you stay away from that cat, you live forever. Yeah. That cat's going to hunt you down.
If I'm at that hospice, I'm having Ian McGregor put a lock on that. He's got to use a key to come in and out of my room.
Yeah, but Ian McGregor, he's just letting that cat in every fucking room. All right, do your business, yeah. But everyone's pretty cool when the cat comes.
Oh, yeah. Because they have Dr. Sleep there.
Yeah, and they're in hospice. They know, but they're all scared, Yeah. And again, Mike Flanagan, this is where he shines, is like is showing what's great about people, or like making you feel for these people. He's very good at that. But yeah, Danny is like walking them through the other side, and he, with his shine power, he can like put their body at ease.
And what's really cool about all of these scenes was what he did specifically for them is help them transition, but he did that through a favorite memory of theirs.
Yeah.
Or a very defining moment in their life to give them peace before they cross over to the other side. And also reassuring them that there is something outside of death.
And I'm sure that was I'm sure that's a pretty big part of the book, of him working there. And we only get like one night of him working there, unfortunately. But
and a few,
of course,
like,
it's a movie.
Very quick montages or...
Yeah, exactly. He only ever meets with 2 people that we see on camera. Yeah. The older guy at the very end, which was a really good scene because the guy tells him that he's scared and he doesn't know what's going to happen next. But yeah, so Danny's...
And he meets Scatman later on when the cat goes in there the room and he's like, hey, there's no one in there.
Oh yeah, we should talk about it because I love that scene, actually.
It was a great scene.
Because Scatman, he's like... Because Danny's like, I haven't seen you in 9 years. And he's Skyman, he has no idea. He's
he goes, time's a different thing where I'm
He's like, this is a dream of a dream now. And that's so cool because you want to know, like, what kind of world is he living in? I mean, but
what is the afterlife?
And he's saying that he's probably not going to be able to see him anymore. And that he's fading, I guess. But who knows if he's just disappearing or he's going to the next stage. We don't. But I like it that they kind of kept it vague. But he tells him. He pretty much tells him that he's got to have to go and do something eventually, or that someone's gonna call for him, and it ends up being Abra.
Yeah.
Because that night, Abra, she fucking stencils on his chalkboard, "Murder" or "Red Rum" if you read it backwards.
Oh. Well, and he saw it in the mirror.
He saw Red Rum first because it's actually written correctly.
Yeah.
Because why would she write it Red Rum?
Red Rum. It makes no sense. Yeah, but I love that they used the mirror for that. That was so cool because he got to see Red Rum before he saw Murder.
I like
even
that
though
too,
he knew
and
it was the same
I
thing,
like the effect that they used too of crashing into the chalkboard.
Yes,
I thought that was pretty cool, but ruined the chalkboard.
Unfortunate.
Use the chalk. She was using the chalk.
I think it was worth it, to call out a child murderer. She had to get that message across.
But yes, but while the true knots are murdering this kid, she Abra kind of almost interferes, but Rose gets a hit that someone was looking in on him.
Yep.
And Rose says, "This is the fucking white whale, my guy. This is the big one. We're gonna be eating good
for the next 20 years.
Grandpa is gonna be kicking. He's gonna be rolling
another 10,000 years. Yeah."
Turns out, not a case. Grandpa ends up. I can't remember what they call it, but he ends up fading out.
He does,
and it's painful.
Yeah,
when that happens.
It's not a good experience, and you turn to dust.
Yeah, but first you're like
after you're like transitioning,
yeah, and you're like you're
convulsing.
But it looks like your soul's getting like pulled out of you.
Yeah,
but and they don't like that. That was very scary for them. That he died because they're never supposed to die.
Right.
Well, they're supposed to live. What was the saying? Eat well, live long.
Eat well, live long. Yeah.
Which I love that saying.
That's what she told Snakebite as well.
Yeah, not live forever.
No.
Live long and eat
and stay young too. You could stay young if you ate well.
Yeah, we know because fucking Snakebite conveniently hasn't aged.
Exactly.
That way they can use the same actor.
Works out for everyone.
Yeah. Very convenient. But yeah, so then. And another really, really good scene is when fucking Rose goes onto the top of her RV and astral projects. It was fucking amazing.
I loved that scene. That was one of my favorite in the film. It looked so awesome.
It was probably my favorite scene.
Yeah.
It was so fucking creative. It looked amazing when she was floating over the earth.
And then
it looked fucking amazing. And then
the cinematography too, and the way that it was like turning with the camera. And
when she comes down into the neighborhood and lands on her feet, it was
like magical, man.
It was really
cool. It almost felt, because I'm sure you've had them too, but I've had those kind of dreams.
Oh yeah,
like where you're just like, for whatever reason, you're like flying, you're hovering, and then like you can just come down.
Yeah, and it feels like you're almost in control.
Yeah.
But she was fucking in control. And the way she and it was so creative, the way like when she was going into the house, floating in the window, and the window just pops off.
Yeah.
It just kind of goes aside.
And then she goes feet first in.
And then the camera flips, and she goes, it was very well done.
I love that whole sequence. That was one of the best things about this film.
I mean, if I'm going to go back and rewatch it, I'm watching it just for that scene. Because that scene was really,
it's captivating too. I was just glued to the screen when that was happening. It was beautiful.
It was, and it almost reminded me of like kind of the Doctor Strange. Remember when he's flying through fucking space and everything? It was cool like that. Where when I first saw that, I was just blown away by it. But yeah, it was a great scene, and she astral projects herself into
Abra's
room. Mm-hmm. And what we learn is when you astral project into someone's mind, I guess we have it's like a library of all your memories.
Yes.
And but this is an awesome scene.
It is,
because she's going through Abra's filing cabinet to have her memories, and that.
Well, and Abra's ready for it too, because remember, Abra went early on in this is where the grocery store scene comes into play, because she went to visit her, right, and she saw her. And then she gets shot back, and she knows. And
that was before the astral projection scene. Yeah,
and he warns her.
That was a cool
she's
scene
coming
too.
Back.
Yeah, she gets her shit kicked out of her at the grocery store. That was a cool scene because she sees her in the reflection of the frozen food section.
And that's kind of how they know it's like the white whale, like the Moby Dick, you know what I mean? Like the big ass prize.
They definitely...
Because she could feel the power there.
Oh, yeah. Well, and because I don't think you're supposed to be able to physically do something to someone through, like, astral projection or something. Right. So, because remember, Rose was, like, shocked by it. She's like, what the fuck? That's not supposed to happen. But yeah, so after, they think, oh, but again, they underestimate her. That's the problem is Abra was prepared.
I gotta say, Abra's a smart kid.
Oh, she's kicked
ass. She's only like 11, 12. And
she's got an IQ like Stephen Hawking, though. I think that's part of their shining, yeah. But, yeah, so, and then, so, again, they don't shy away from the brutality of this scene when her hand gets caught into...
I loved it. And again, it was kind of a Gerald's Game situation.
Yeah.
Did you not think that, too? Because I knew Mike Flanagan directed this film.
It only reminded me of that because of the realistic gore of them pouring the hand. Looked just like her pulling the hand from... Which is good because that's probably what it looks like. If it's consistent through each film of when someone's pulling their wrist out of something and it looks like that, I'm guessing it's probably pretty close.
Yeah.
But
gonna need skin grafts on that thing, Rose.
Oh, yeah. But it's cool because she's pulling her hand out and she flips around and Abra's got no eyes. That's something cool. She can't look into her or anything like that. And she's begging for her to release.
And that whole time her hand's in the filing cabinet, we get a quick... Abra going through all of her files in her memory.
Abra fucking, she pulls a Leo from Inception. She does a double Inception down I'm in your mind, bitch.
Yeah.
And, she goes into Rose the Hat's mind, and because Rose the Hat is very old, she's got a fucking library full of memories.
Yes.
And she's flipping through those
very
things.
Fast, very speedy.
A computer system would be better.
It would be.
It's 2019.
One file,
why in your mind are you not updating? But it's so she goes in there. Yeah, she gets in, but eventually Rose the Hat takes her hand out, what's left of her goddamn hand, and flies out the fucking window and goes and shoots back into her body.
And she's like whatever you want to call it, meditating on top of the what are they called?
Her RV.
Her RV. What are they called though?
Well, hers isn't a Winnebago. Hers the other guy has a Winnebago, but hers isn't a Winnebago.
On top of her RV.
She has an awesome RV, yeah.
She does. And it hits the roof and then she just flicking.
Yeah, because I guess she's got to get some height.
Yeah.
To get that astral projection. Like getting a cell phone signal, you got to get up there past the trees.
And she gets shot down pretty hard.
Like 13 feet. Yeah.
Brutal.
And they all come running up to her, and her hand is
actually
still
messed up.
Yeah. And it's still fucked up.
Yeah.
Bad. And they got to wrap that shit. And they end up telling Rose the Hat that you just can't go. They're like, because she was inside your head. It's going to set her thing off. They're going to know that we're coming a mile away.
Well, and they don't know. They also don't know how much information Abra was able to go through.
Yeah.
Because that's what Crow asked her. Well, what did she see? And she goes, I don't know.
Yeah.
She's pissed off about it.
Yeah, they don't know. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so Rose returns, and in true nod, they all leave to go capture Abra. They're doing it without Rose the Hat, the most powerful of all of them. But Crow says, I got some tricks of these old fucking crow wings. You don't worry about me, mama.
He's like, I've been around a few thousand years.
Yeah.
I know what's up.
And he is. He's cool. He's a cool cat. And,
he is cool.
He knows what he's doing.
Kind of a dick for killing kids, but I mean,
yeah,
he's kind of cool.
You got to do what you got to do. And he's got the total pedophile van. No window.
Yeah, I don't know why someone's not questioning this.
I don't even know why
driving down the road. Okay?
I don't even know why they allow those vans. They're only being used for one reason. It's to trap kids. A windowless van?
To be fair, I think like carpenters and plumbers, they all use
but even them, because I even worked with painters, they got the window in the back.
Good point. That is a good point.
If you got
don't
no
even have
window
a window in the
straight
back,
around,
something's going on.
One,
That's a
you can't see
surveillance
where you're
van
backing
or a
up.
pedophile van. Yeah. One of the
you're
two.
CIA or you're pedophile or you're both. I don't want to get into conspiracy
all I know
theories.
Is Epstein didn't kill himself. Okay, like that's.
We are a pro.
Epstein did not kill himself
podcast. Yeah,
and but people need to pay for that.
Absolutely, but we're not here to talk about that.
No,
that's a whole nother podcast. We will get into that, But yeah, so Crow Daddy, he goes to Abra's house. Mm-hmm. At this time, Danny's...
But we don't know that at this point. We don't know yet because Abra's setting the trap for all the other psychic true not vampires.
Yes,
right?
That's right, yeah. And
they're making it seem like she's out in that national forest.
Yep.
Out there. and that they're going to track her down.
Yeah, Danny and his friend, the
Billy.
Rock's brother.
Yeah.
Billy.
Yeah.
Billy. They end up going because Billy, he ends up just telling Billy.
Mm-hmm.
Billy's like, I got nothing else going on. I will believe anything you say at this point.
Well, and we're kind of skipping forward again because we got to go back just a little bit, because the whole reason why they're able to know where she's at is because they had to find the baseball glove. So that's where he tells her.
Right. I forgot there's a whole entire side plot.
There is.
Of Danny and Billy having a road trip.
Yeah, not a fun road trip though.
No,
not the one. Not the kind
why
of
did you
road
ask
trip.
Billy to go?
I don't
did he
know.
need to be
Why
there?
didn't you just do it yourself? Well, you couldn't dig up a shallow grave
Or just ask for the car? Like, I gotta
Yeah.
borrow a car. Like, that's gonna be way easier to explain to Billy that I have fucking psychic powers.
And not only that,
and I'm
but
talking to a girl 1,000 miles away. She's a minor.
She is.
She's 12 years old.
Pretty plain as day. She's a minor. This is not good.
Billy's gonna go to the cops if he's got any sense.
Any sense, but he doesn't. He trusts his friend for whatever reason. I guess 8
Not only
years
that,
sober equates to I'll trust you with anything.
Not only that, but Danny tells him we gotta go dig up this kid. Where's the red flag there?
Come on.
You know where this kid is buried?
Dead kid is buried.
I figured, are you the only one that knows where this kid is buried?
And then you're using psychic powers to go bury him up.
Danny, I gotta tell you,
Danny,
I'm
you're
not liking
telling me
any
here,
of
pal.
this.
This is not. I don't like
These
the way
are
this
not enough.
sounds.
Yeah.
This is
But no,
stockpiled against you.
Like a fucking moron, Billy. And does Billy, at least through the first half, play a bigger role in the book?
No, I don't think. Not like bigger than what he is in the movie.
Oh,
Because he's pretty prominent in the movie himself.
Yeah,
Like, that's a big part of.
I know. I thought he was even going to be in it even more, but it turns out not the case. Not the case for Billy. But they do. They end up digging up Nathan Tremblay's body. Pretty brutal. Because his body's been in there a while.
Yeah, and they didn't shy away from that either. They actually showed it.
Yeah,
Like,
well, they showed his
and
hand.
like natural. Yeah. Well, no, they showed his face too after they buried him up.
Oh, did they?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
They showed him
in
in the dirt.
Yeah,
and it did not look good.
No, he's been in there a while.
Decayed body.
That will happen. Yeah. And they buried him about 2 inches deep.
Yeah, not
just a sprinkle of dirt over his body.
But yeah, that covered him. We're good. Yeah,
let's roll out of here. We are good with that one.
Not a lot of respect for the dead.
But of course, why do they even bury him when they know that they can't be caught by the cops? Mm-hmm. Why not just toss that kid?
I guess just to reduce the smell in the area. I mean, why bring up more problems?
I know,
it's better for the kid to be missing forever than.
And again, but they're always on the run too. So you would almost, even if they weren't like this giant fucking billionaires or whatever, it'd be hard to catch them.
It would be.
It would be damn. I mean, of course, they are a 9 deep caravan. You don't see those very often anymore.
So someone's got to start asking questions, or at least adding them up.
Oh, for
after
sure.
After like the 50th child kill in a year.
That Winnebago's leaving tire tracks everywhere it goes. I mean, they don't have a whole lot of those on the road anymore. True. And you know that was fucking Billy the Chunk. He had to have been in that Winnebago. You know, he's the only one that never upgraded. But yeah, so they find the glove, and now that whole side plot's over. Right. Now they know.
And now Abra can touch the glove and knows where Rose the Hat is, and knows what they're planning to do.
Yes. And and they know that they're coming to get Abra, and they're going to set a trap for him. They're going to use Abra as bait. Mm-hmm. And that's what they do. They go to a campground again. Great place to murder anyone. And that's where they send the trap. And Abra ends up fucking pulling a real old Jedi mind trick.
Again, this is the last Jedi, Luke Skywalker. Again, a lot of Star Wars.
I don't know why. A lot of reference back to Star Wars, but
pulls the old Luke Skywalker.
Pulls old Luke.
Come to find out, she's not actually there.
Yeah, and everyone's real upset about that. Mm-hmm. But guess what? Fucking Danny and Billy, the sniper elites, they're up in the mountains ready to
just picking people off. I'm like, to be fair, what I will say is it's a lot easier to shoot a target with a rifle or a long barrel, than a pistol.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
still difficult,
and they had high ground on top.
Still very difficult, especially a moving object when they were all running as well. But they knock them down quick.
Yeah.
I
guess it depends on the kind of shot you are, but I thought it was fairly
it's difficult to hit a shot standing still. Yeah. Oh man. They were more than 30 yards.
Yeah, they were like 60.
Yeah, that's pretty damn deep.
With a hunting rifle?
Oh, yeah.
You can be pretty damn accurate with a hunting rifle.
Well, what if fucking Billy had a lever action?
Good point.
He was racking that thing.
Like the Car 98, it was German old
It was
school.
a fucking gun that won the West, was Billy. And then Danny was using a bolt action. So, I mean, I've been shooting. I've been hunting. It's simple. I mean, it's not. But yeah, they made quick work out of it. Yeah, and again, they weren't expecting it. So I'm sure it's easier to shoot someone when they're not expecting it. Yeah, and they take them all out, and they kind of like fade. They kind of do like the Blade death, where they just disappear. First, they do the thing.
It's like the Thanos with more steps.
Pretty much, yeah. And they end up killing everyone besides what they dumb shits didn't count it all up, I guess, because they left one out.
And that was Snakebite.
Snakebite, the most powerful one,
of course. And they shoot her, and everything's good. Right, and you think, everything's A-okay. They're gonna move on, and
it's
Danny
so dumb.
tries.
I thought this was pretty dumb,
and I thought it was very predictable. I knew Billy was gonna die in this sequence. I gotta say, I didn't know exactly
what was he
how
gonna do.
Check
happened. Her pulse?
I know. Why are you going up to her? And you know, like she has powers, and Danny keeps telling her.
You saw every other one of them disappeared when they got shot.
Like some weird,
just put another round in her.
Yeah,
if she's not disappearing, she's not dead.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Billy's going to go up, and I guess, I don't even know, take the bullet out of her, try to save her. And she says, shoot yourself, Billy. And Billy does it like an idiot. Billy.
Well, to be
Rule
fair,
number one, don't shoot yourself.
Jedi mind tricks are very, psychic vampire mind tricks are very
I'm going to tell you right
complex.
now, one, if they were real hunters, would have been wearing ear protection. That would have never been a problem for Billy.
That is true.
That's Hunter Safety
101. You got to figure that out.
If you're a hunter, you're wearing it. For one, you're going deaf if you're shooting a rifle.
This should be an instructional video on why it is important to wear proper safety gear.
Because psychic vampires will jump in your head and have you shoot yourself. That's why I'm wearing ear protection right now.
Makes sense to me.
Thing. But yeah, so Billy's dead now, but one of them's not there. Which one of the psychic vampires is gone? There's one
Rose's
not
love interest, Crow.
Crow Daddy. And where the hell's he at?
He's at Abra's house.
Where Abra really is.
Yep.
Because remember, Abra was astral projecting.
Right.
And he unfortunately kills Abra's dad.
A big old butcher knife right to the middle of the chest. Hell of a stab, because that's not easy to do.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Bone and everything. The man must have been really strong.
And they set up, for some reason, they set up to save the mom early on, where they had her go out. I don't know why they did that.
I don't know why either. I guess so she had a parent.
I know, but I know, but
something to look forward
man,
to
was that lucky?
Yeah, what a lucky time.
Old Gam was dying or whatever at the perfect fucking time, because you would have been down
pretty
to
convenient.
0 parents.
Yeah. Unfortunate for the father, but
yeah, wrong time, wrong place. But and he does not take well what's going on. One, he doesn't take well when Danny comes.
When Danny shows up, well, I wouldn't either.
You've been talking about.
I wouldn't either.
Oh, you don't
my
like
11-year-old daughter, some 40-year-old guy's like, oh yeah, I've been having conversations with your daughter.
Yeah,
I'm like, nah, no, sirree, you're not.
Yeah, well, he doesn't like it at first, but he gets used to it.
Well, yeah, because Abra actually shows her dad through her psychic ability that he's not actually a creep, and
she fucking
everything that is actually
brain
happening.
melts him.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna be in a coma.
I love that next scene where he's like pouring whiskey, and he's like his hand, he can't even like quit shaking. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
but I would feel that way too if I just got mind melted
by my daughter.
Yeah, like
my psychic daughter. Yeah. Yeah, because we learned that the parents have been kind of like pretending she really doesn't have this power, even though they know she has powers.
Yeah, they do.
So they they should have been kind of a little prepared for it.
Right.
But yeah, so he and the dad offers Danny a drink also, and Danny says,
"I don't drink.
I'm clean, bro. I got 9 years. I got my token or whatever." But yeah, so she's dead, but now for some reason they had to go back up. They got to go where it all started. They got to go back to the Overlook. Mm-hmm. They said this is where it's got to end.
Well, yeah, not quite though, because Crow actually kidnaps Abra.
Oh yeah, I can't believe I forgot about it. Yeah, because she's and then Danny freaks out. He goes back to his apartment and he almost drinks.
We have not talked about her much, but the girl who plays Abra, Kylie Curran.
Yeah.
She is a fantastic actress.
Yeah, she did pretty good. I thought
she was really good. And the one scene I was most impressed with was this van scene. She had to portray Ian McGregor. And like when or Danny Torrance,
I forgot about that. Yeah,
she did a really good job though, because she was a complete different person when she. And you got to understand, obviously, it's still just an actor. Like the way she did that was impressive. Because I was just watching her performance, like, wow, she's a complete different person.
Yeah,
like personality and everything.
Yeah,
I thought she crushed
pretty
that.
good for sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's something that Mike Flanagan has been known to do is get good child actors.
Yeah, get good talent.
What we know from Haunting on Hill House, all those kids.
Those kids are awesome.
Amazing, yeah. And the little girl from Haunting on Hill House is a girl right at the start. Yeah, she gets murdered very quickly.
Yeah. Again, Mike Flanagan uses a lot of former people that he's worked with.
Yeah, and I would too. I would. Yeah. I mean,
why not?
Does that make sense?
If it works,
you know how they work. You know that you can do good work. So stick with them.
Well, I think some directors do that. Not to get off too far, but like Scorsese does that a lot of times.
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
There are people who do.
And then there's some directors that will never work with the same person twice. Yeah. Like even if they make a fantastic fucking movie, like Stanley Kubrick was like that. He never worked with the same person twice. But yeah, I mean, that's what I would be the same. If I'm getting good stuff from people, I'll stick with them for sure. Why not? But yeah, so Crow does kidnap her and he drugs her, gives her some sedatives so she can't use her powers and whatnot.
Which that was one thing that kind of irritated me. It didn't get into that. And I think that warranted an explanation a little better than what we got. Because it just said it subdued her powers, but it didn't get into like how or why.
Yeah, I don't know. It must have just been like fucking
just some
morphine
really good heroin or something.
Yeah, like you're not gonna even want to use your powers when you're on this.
Kurt Cobain couldn't have even stood up with this shit. Okay,
brother, this is gonna give you some other psychic powers. It's a whole nother batch of fucking powers. But yeah, so he does kidnap her, but eventually, because Danny goes back, he's about to hit the bottle. Because he's got that bottle, all alcoholics always keep that one bottle just for that day you gotta
just in case, the just in case bottle.
And I don't think you're an actual cured alcoholic if you still have that one bottle
somewhere
when you're gonna end it all and just down that fucking bottle. But he ends up smashing it hard in the ground, and
good for him.
He ends up going in. I guess this is kind of the first time he just goes full on his shine, and he connects with Abra, right?
Yep.
And not even that, but he takes over her body, which I guess he didn't know he could fucking do that because that seems like
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know why he didn't take over the fucking the Crow's body.
That's true.
He just crashed that car himself, but it is a cool scene.
It is.
It's a cool scene when he takes over her body because she's got like 9 seatbelts on because again she's a hot commodity, man. Right. You got to protect this fucking white whale.
Well, and it showed that right away too. That's funny you brought that up because it panned up like when she was passed out.
She's got like 9 seatbelts.
Yeah.
Again, a common aspect of the pedophile van. If you have multiple seatbelts in one position
to hold down someone, that's
like you only have like only one seat has 9 seatbelts, none of the rest.
You pull that over as a cop. You're going, sir. Why are there multiple seatbelts on the back seat of this vehicle?
Yeah, and no fucking windows. It's a red flag again.
Yeah, that's 2 strikes right now, pal.
You just got looking at you. Explaining to do.
Yeah, it's strike 3.
But yeah, so but of course the Crow, he doesn't wear seatbelts because one, he's living life to the fullest.
He is,
and only fucking nerds wear seatbelts. We know that.
We do, and we definitely do not condone not wearing your seatbelt. But if you don't,
yeah, you're badass.
Yeah, but it's.
Now wear your seatbelt.
Yeah, always wear your seatbelt, folks. Come on.
Don't be an
idiot.
Don't be a crow daddy.
Yeah, because if you want to know
what we learned, you could suck
you
out 1,000 fucking. But you hit a tree going 60 miles an hour. It doesn't matter how long you lived.
Nope.
Your body's splitting in two.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
Yeah, you could have lived to fucking ancient Rome times. You hit a tree going 80. I don't care how much power you have. You're gone, bud.
Yes.
And that's what happens.
It does.
He hits a tree hard.
Slow, delayed death too.
Yeah, because Danny was able to use psychic powers because he's got fucking all kinds of powers now. Powers you wouldn't even know about.
I know.
Now he's got telekinesis. He can stop the fucking car and hits the brake hard. And Crow Daddy goes flying, and then he just shows up at the van. And he says, "Hop in. We're going to a hotel."
Yeah.
Again, a red flag.
It definitely a red flag.
But yeah, they end up going there, and this was probably my favorite part of the entire scene of them going to the Overlook was just them driving through the mountains.
Yes.
That eerie. Because, and this is, I heard they use like 5 scenes from The Shining where it's directly from The Shining. Mm-hmm. The hotel, the elevator with the blood scene, that's directly pulled from The Shining.
It looked a lot better though.
They cleaned it up.
Yeah, they cleaned it up. They had to have a lot.
Oh yeah, they cleaned it up a lot. They digitalized it. I mean, they took all the fucking like the 70s, I don't know, snow, wherever you see.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did that with all they took the same, that overlook shot of the car. They did that, but they just digitally added snow and cleaned it up like that. But yeah, I love those scenes that they pulled from The Shining and put in. Yeah. Because the elevator scene, I mean, as soon as you see it, that's from The Shining.
Oh, yeah.
Because that blood only falls one way. The whole hotel was a callback.
Like the hallways, the doors. And I love how they got it down to the doors, down to the door
very
handles.
Important, yeah.
It was
down to the carpet.
The carpet's very iconic. Yeah. I've been thinking about buying a rug.
And we talked about it.
For the podcast.
Awesome.
It'd be really cool because I have the Shining poster. I might as well get the carpet for the studio too.
You just ask for fucking evil spirits coming in this guy.
Yeah, I don't believe in that.
Well, cats can predict death.
They're fun to watch, and
cats can predict death, so
that is true.
Believe in anything, my guy.
Good point.
But yeah, they go to Overlook, and they say this is going to attract Rose the Hat, and we're going to end it here.
Because she knows where Abra's at.
Yeah, because she can track her. Yeah. And now Rose the Hat is fucking livid.
Oh, she's pissed. And she knows Crow just died because she felt that.
Oh, an hour ago she had a goddamn family. Now she's one and done. I mean, she's got one left.
And Crow was bringing her the biggest white whale of all time. The biggest prize she's ever had.
Stupid ass Crow. He can't do anything right.
No, he dumbass.
That's why I think
all you had to do was wear a seatbelt.
I know. And
what a chum.
If Rose the Hat was there, you would have known. She would have nagged him, as all women do. Nag,
nag. Get your seatbelt on. Okay. Come to find out, she would have saved his life.
Absolutely. But yeah, so she's going on her own at this time. And she's going to finish it. Which I think you should have brought her along in the first place. She's so goddamn powerful. I think even if she knew she was coming, she could have kind of held her own.
Yeah.
Because they learned they even trap her, and she still gets the upper hand. Even though Danny's got all kinds of fucking powers now.
And they have like a, when Danny and Abra show up to the Overlook Hotel, he tells her to stay in the car and that she can see headlights coming from like 20 minutes away.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're so far up the mountain. So, yeah, and I like that. Danny was like, I don't want you going in there if you don't have to, because as soon as you walk in there, and it is a very cool scene when he walks in and all the lights are flicking on, like he is a fucking battery. Oh yeah, and they're welcoming. The heat's kicking on.
The boiler room's already on. It's like, what's going on?
Ovens turned up. You got fucking meals going, bro. Someone's pouring you a drink.
Yes,
you already got a bartender.
Someone's pouring you a drink.
But I liked all that those scenes of him walking and them firing it up and whatnot, and. But yeah, he goes and he's got to start the boiler room up though. He's got to manually do that. So he kicks all that shit on and yeah, they get into it. Eventually she ends up seeing first Rose fucking ODs on some steam.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Hit after
in our view, she was just taking a bunch of them.
So that probably answers why she was so goddamn powerful at the end. But, she uses all of it, whatever's left of it. It's like 9 canisters.
It's a lot of canisters. It's a lot of hoarding, and she just took it all in one sitting.
Yeah. But, so she's...
And if we... Real quick on that, her hand was completely healed when she did it as well. Remember, her hand was healing?
Oh, yeah, because she got so much steam. She was aiming... It's like pure anabolic steroid. You ready to lift. You're ready to do some shit. But, but yeah, they're going to Overlook because they think it'll be most dangerous for her and them. It's dangerous for everyone.
Involved, yeah.
So, again, it just seemed like they just had to have a reason to get back to the Overlook. It's like shady processing math, like, because it's just as dangerous for Danny as it is, although Danny knows it more.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I was kind of okay with it. Because I was excited. When they said they were going back to the Overlook Hotel,
Overlook.
I was like, Overlook Hotel.
Well, of course you're excited just to see it, but to me, you have to have enough reason to be there. It's not just enough to like, we just have to go back because we have to go back because everyone wants to see it. But yeah, nonetheless, they go there anyways.
They do,
and the place is it's still a little dead, and that's a pun and not a pun because there's not a lot of ghosts left because Danny's got them all trapped in his head. but there's still some.
And it's been boarded down too for 20 plus years.
Oh yeah, but he's got to go wake it up. That's what he says, and he says once he gets in there, that building's gonna fire up. It's like Monster House.
It is.
But yeah, and he revisits. He goes, and this was cool. Him going to the room and everything. You know, seeing
237. Yes.
Yeah, and
seeing the old lady
and seeing the door that his dad fucking took down with an axe. You know, because he looks into it at one point. You know, an obvious callback to. Like, why would he do that?
It's just,
it's me.
Ooh, hey. And they did go back to that quick little snippet of the original film. When Jack Torrance hits the axe through the door.
Yeah.
They went back just for a split second.
And, but yeah, so once, doing this all, Danny goes to the bar, of course, because once an alcoholic,
always an alcoholic. Yes.
And he goes to the bar, and who's waiting for him at the bar?
Old Daddy.
Jack Torrance himself.
Yep.
Henry Thomas. And again, what I got is either of us enjoyed this scene very much.
Who?
Or, I mean, I did not like that they used Henry Thomas.
Neither did I. Yeah. No. I didn't mind the dialogue. I thought the dialogue was good, and I loved the character struggle there.
I just wanted much more to be. I mean, what is there, a billion people that can do a Jack Nicholson impression?
Yeah. And not only that, but I wanted the scene to be more about Danny than it was his father. And I would have been just okay with the jacket and not showing his face.
Same. And I think I wanted something more to be accomplished by that. It seemed like it wasn't, I don't know. It seemed like it had to have been this should have been like the peak moment.
Yes.
Him going back, him fighting all of his demons.
And literally facing the biggest one, his father.
Yeah, absolutely. The reason he's been drinking for the last fucking 30 years is to suppress his memory of his dad and everything. So this should have been, just earth shattering.
And in a weird way, that was the only connection he ever had with his father.
Yeah,
was the alcohol.
But he does end up overcoming his dad, and I like how it's a good scene. It could have been so much better. Yeah, and he
keeps the drink. It's your medicine. It's your medicine.
And he keeps saying it, and it's so weird because all he wants to do. He just wants him to act like a dad. You can tell that. But he's not. He's full bartender at this point.
Full bartender, full ghost demon thing.
Yeah. But eventually his dad smashes the drink and says, "Fuck you. If you don't want it, I'm offering you
Get the hell out of my bar."
You get right up and walk right out. You're not welcome here, pal.
Look, I don't get business as it is. Okay, so when I do, I want to make a little money. I still got to feed my ghost kids.
But and he gets so that was the big moment of him overcoming like his dad.
Yes.
Which I thought it was just gonna be such a bigger moment. So I was a little disappointed by that. But yeah, again he turns up all the boiler rooms, and once Rose walks in, it's go time. They pull her into the astral plane or whatever. Because remember they go into the maze. And Rose is chasing around Abra. Of course, it's not real though.
No, and it's all in her head.
Yeah,
well, and that's where they met too. Was the stairs in that giant hall where Jack's always writing.
Yeah, it was. Still got the paper there. Like they just boarded that thing up and did nothing.
Nothing with it. They said nope, not opening this place ever again.
Yeah, just we got to remember 2 families died in that.
Yeah, gruesomely too.
Similar events took place. But yeah, and we're the same as remember that the dad in The Shining was the bartender, the original dad that killed his entire family and the twin girls and whatnot. I guess they kicked him out.
Guess so.
He lost his job. That's shitty because I'm sure there's not a lot of jobs for ghosts.
No, now he's just cleaning the ghost toilet.
Yeah, he's cleaning the ghost shitter for the rest of his life. That's brutal. But yeah, so she arrives and they confront her. They pull her in an astral plane that overlooks hedge maze, and this again. The hedge maze always blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like, this place is so obviously evil.
And it's so big.
I know.
It was massive. What a massive maze.
Yeah, no one's going anywhere. Yeah, you gotta spend the entire day.
Well, and not only that, but you're gonna freeze to death.
You can literally only go in the maze maybe a month out of the year.
And you're freezing. All that upkeep for it. It seems counterintuitive.
It seems like you're a madman, which you probably are.
You probably are if you own a place like that.
I know. I like the Overlook has just become more of like a character in these movies. I want to know so much about the history of Overlook. Why is it
this evil?
What is it built on? I mean, what kind of mountain is what's happening there?
Yeah, and it doesn't have like ancient people. I mean, not if it's that cold out. They couldn't have lived back then.
It's not that old of a building.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't built in like the 1300s.
No.
They say it was built in like
the 1800s. You know what I mean?
I think they say it was built in the 30s.
Yeah, you're right. The 30s, 20s or 30s.
Because the picture of the party, it says New Year's 1922 or something like that, remember? I think that was right when it was open. So again, it's not ancient. It's not a castle or anything like that.
Yeah, so they must have just built on something powerful.
Bad luck.
Yeah, really
Every mountain you could build on, and you just throw it on arguably the most evil mountain in the world. It's all about location. We know that, and that's just him selling. But so they fight her, and eventually, though, Rose gets out of the maze because again, she's all juiced up.
And the whole reason for the maze was so Ian McGregor or whatever, Dan Torrance could come behind her and close the box on her.
Yes.
And lock her away like he's done all the other spirits.
But she says, "None. Don't you do that. Don't put me in a box." And she ends up ruining
I'm an independent
their plan.
woman. I do what I want.
Absolutely can't box me up.
You can't box her up.
Good for her, too.
Yeah, seriously.
A strong woman.
Yep.
We need
and
that.
that's what we need.
We need,
yes,
absolutely.
We do need.
But yeah, so no box for her.
Yeah, no box for her.
And Dan says, "Get the hell out of here," to Abra.
Yeah, because he knows.
Yeah.
The plan's foiled. Now she's in trouble.
I know. It was a flimsy plan to begin with.
Yeah, it wasn't the most.
What was plan B?
Plan
B, grab the axe and just start swinging.
Literally plan B was go, run.
Yeah. And remember, he grabs the axe, and he takes one swing, and she grabs the axe. She's like, enough of that.
Bitch, please, get this out of my face.
He's not that great of a fighter.
I just inhaled 9 containers of mist.
9 containers of whole people. Yes. I've got 9 people in me right now.
I'm strong as shit.
But yeah, and they ended up having a little of a fight, and Rose has the clear upper hand. I mean, absolutely. But then Dan thinks, "Oh my God, I got about 80 people locked up in me too." And he says, "Let's just let him
loose," especially right back at the Overlook Hotel.
Because we keep getting like the flashbacks of in his head of the boxes, and they're just aching to get out. Oh, they're hurting for it. You bring them back to the Overlook, and you don't give them something to eat.
They're starving on top of that.
Oh,
they've been locked away for 30 years.
Yeah, but it's not without cost of him letting these things out, because he does let them all out, and they do end up killing Rose.
They do.
In a cool way. One guy like shoves his hand in her face or something.
That was
crazy. Awesome. It was cool.
It's kind of a poetic justice for her, though. Being consumed by the very thing that
they
she
were
does.
taking her steam.
Yes.
I mean, that's what everyone does in this world. That's what every ghost is for, is they just love that steam, man.
That steamy mess.
And that gives the whole reason of why ghosts scare people. It's because they love fear. I mean, that really does. I mean, that's the entire reason of every Stephen King book, is everyone feeds off fear now. And that literally gives it a law.
The common theme in his books.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure, yeah. But
needless to be said. But.
Yeah. Well, although some of his best books are not horror books, though.
That's true. To be fair, that's true, he has written some books that are not horror based.
Green Mile.
Green Mile's fantastic too.
Amazing. But yeah, so they attack Rose, and then they attack Danny, unfortunately, because he can't really control them at this point. You know, they're not like attack dogs, and so he gets possessed a little bit.
You don't think Green Mile focuses on fear though? Sometimes, with the fear of dying, sometimes unjustly.
No, I think Green Mile is it's a book about it's a book about freedom for sure, but not just freedom of like being in a prison cell, but like freedom of slavery and everything. But I don't know if it focuses very much on fear. I mean,
I just look at it as a different form of fear.
It's a
it's not horror based, but it's more of a realistic, grounded base in fear. Yeah, because I mean to be unjustly accused.
It's one of those Stephen King books where the worst. It's not like a monster or anything. It's just people.
Yeah,
people are bad.
Yeah, and it doesn't deal with the fantasy aspect of it as much.
No, well,
I mean, there's a little bit. Yeah. There's a little bit in it, but not.
John Coffey can pull fucking poison out of your body.
Good point.
It's a great movie. Michael Clark Duncan.
May rest in peace.
Big
Seriously, I miss that guy. I was devastated when he died.
Yeah, he was great. What a monster of a man. A mountain of a man.
Yes.
Him playing John Coffey, man, he killed. He should have won an Oscar for that.
Should have.
But yeah. So Dan, he's a little possessed. He's got like half his body's possessed. He's like a stroke victim.
He's a cyborg ghost.
But he starts. He does what all Torrances do. For many, many years, they hunt down little kids.
Also, did you notice his outfit as well was strikingly similar to his father's? The jeans, the jacket, the what's cargo? Not cargo. What's it called?
Cardigan.
Yeah, like the whatever it was.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're simple men.
It was, yes.
But yeah. So he's now hunting, and this is the scene where it's like it's just obviously. Just replaying The Shining because he's hunting or he's doing this,
and he's chasing her with the limp, the same thing that his father had.
Exactly, yeah. And does he have and he has the axe also? I'm pretty sure.
Of course,
right?
yeah, he's got the axe.
Yeah, somehow someone put that axe back.
Yeah. Out of everything,
I'm not
else,
touching anything else.
We're boarding this shit up, but we got to put the axe back.
Someone might get hurt.
Yeah.
You might fall on that thing. Not to mention you have ghost eating people alive, but we got to put this axe back in its place. But
yeah, it would have been a lot better had we had just found the axe somewhere instead of in the nice shiny case.
I know, yeah.
But to be fair, there may have been more than one axe in the Overlook Hotel.
And I love those axes, man, with the chrome axe head on it. I want one of those fucking axes.
I know. Those are nice.
Yeah,
those
they're not meant to be.
Like...
I don't think they're meant to be. They're obviously meant to just be like displayed somewhere, but they use them in this. And but yeah, so he's really struggling. He's going in and out, and but he returns. Eventually, he kind of gets out of it for a little bit, and he returns
because Abra kind of turns him back.
Yeah,
for a short period of time.
Yeah, and in that time, he tells her, you got to get out of here. This shit's going down, and I'm taking the building with me.
Yep.
I feel like he didn't really need to die.
No, I didn't think he needed to either. I was like, really?
He just got his life back. I feel like this is probably. Blow up the building.
Yeah, but I didn't.
But walk out. Mm-hmm. You have the power to lock those ghosts up again. I did not feel like he needed to die, but he does die. The building
catches on fire because he's the boiler room.
And then he sees a vision of himself as a kid.
Yep.
Being embraced by his mom, Wendy, and I did like that.
Yeah, that was a great scene at the end.
I like that a lot because that was the only person that ever fucking loved
showed him any love at all.
Yeah, and she was always although she didn't have a shine or anything like Jack or anyone like that, she was always she was never scared of anyone or of him or anything like that. Like Abra's parents, they were just fucking they thought her kid was a freak. But
even after the fact too, the dad was a little shooken up.
Yeah, I know. But and this is something else is the entire building goes up in flames. And there's immediately fucking cop cars.
Which I was like, huh?
Do you remember in those Shining, they said like it'd be 2.5 hours no matter what.
Anyone.
They said no matter what because the mountain's up in the middle of nowhere.
Well, not only that, but Abra saw her headlights and like 30 minutes later she was supposed to show up. So the cops just showed up.
There's no way there's a police station down that road and a fire station for one building that there's no people in there anymore.
Doesn't make any sense.
That was kind of silly to me.
Yeah, that was super dumb.
Because there was because as soon as that hotel burns down, boom, those fire department, or maybe those guys were like, we're waiting for that building to fucking burn.
Why not wait for it to burn down? It's in the middle of snow, in the middle of winter. It's not going to cause a forest fire.
You know.
So yeah, I did think.
And where were those guys strange. when he was murdering his family? You couldn't get a cop up in that fucking mountain. You couldn't beg a guy to come up there. Scatman Crothers had to come from fucking Florida and save their asses.
Yeah, that was dumb. Definitely.
I thought it was, and but it was just an excuse, I guess, to put a bow on it to say Dan's gone now, and there's no more. Although I feel like he just got his life back.
Yeah, it was kind of shitty.
For the first, and he literally just overcame, that was the whole thing of overcoming his dad. Mm-hmm. And now he can't enjoy it all. Unfortunately, he doesn't. But later on, Abra talks to Dan's Force Ghost.
And, yes, the Force Ghost. And this is where we kind of find out that it's a generational thing. How Scatman was to to Danny is the same way Danny is to Abra.
And I thought for sure we were going to get that Scatman was somehow related to Abra. I thought we were going to get that. That ended up being her granddaughter or something, like his granddaughter.
I didn't even think about that.
I just thought it was so obvious that it was going to be something like that. That at some point we would get their last name or something at the very end, and it would be like his last name or whatever. Although I don't remember what his last name is in the movie. But I thought for sure they were going to be related. But she ended up just being a random girl. But yeah, at the end, it's kind of nice because Dan ends up telling her that it's going to be all right, or they're going to be okay, and that he's going to kind of hang out with her. I guess. You had a cool Force ghost friend.
Well, yeah,
it's not bad.
I'd be totally down to have a Force
they
ghost
could be worse
friend.
friends. Yeah, yes. Absolutely. But that's how it ends. That is the end of Dr. Sleep. That's the end of Dan Torrance. There's no more Torrance.
No more Torrance. Nope.
Unless he impregnated that bar chick. We might.
But she's dead. And we didn't even talk about that scene. That's why he changed his whole life. Is because remember the bed scene when he wakes up?
We talked about that. With the baby?
Yeah, and how they were both dead when he turned around. We didn't talk about that specifically.
What? I don't even know what scene you're talking about.
Did you go to the bathroom during that?
No.
The scene where he's sleeping and he has the vision of the dead mom and the dead baby that are sleeping in his bed.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was just a nightmare. How'd they die?
The OD.
The mom does?
Yeah, that's how it is in the book, too. Yeah, she ODs. That's what they were trying to say. That's why I said the puke was weird.
Oh.
Because he knew that there was something wrong. That's why I was saying earlier.
Oh, yeah.
He should have just made a phone call to make sure she was okay.
The baby died, too?
Well, think about it. There's no one to take care of the damn kid.
Yeah, someone's going to hear crying.
Yeah, but babies cry all the time in a shit-ass apartment like that. You think someone's going to care enough?
I know, but crying for hours?
Yeah. Maybe.
And that lady had a job. She had money.
Yeah, but who was babysitting when she was out of town?
When
she was out on the bar?
No, it's wild.
So, but what I'm saying is, more so in the book, they talk about how like she was shitty.
Oh yeah,
like, shitty.
They did not. Oh yeah.
Like she just
obviously
left the
she's
baby
pretty shitty.
She just left the baby, no babysitter or anything.
How long was you gone? 12 hours?
Yeah, with the guy.
Yeah,
not a good person.
No, not a good mom. Probably didn't deserve to die. Unfortunately.
No. And unfortunately, the child definitely did not deserve to die.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I totally forgot about that. But that's very Stephen King-esque. That's very, very dark. But yeah, that seems like a bigger part that would be in the book. But yeah, well, he's got to deal with that. Maybe he kind of deserved to die at the end then.
Yeah, I guess so. Pay for the sins of his past.
Oh, we forgot at the very end, Abra is now haunted by that nasty ghost lady. The decay.
Yes.
Can't get rid of that
just won't
bitch.
Get away.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you be haunted by that if one time you saw that? Okay. I'm just.
Well, not me. I know, but yeah.
I'm going to see visions of that forever.
It's been
I'm haunted by it right now.
Yeah, lock it up in your mind box.
Okay, done.
Your mental. Oh, that was easy.
Yeah, it wasn't that hard, actually. I pretty good at doing that.
You made it as easy as he seems like it be, but well, that is.
But again, I like how they wrapped that very last scene because they did it the same way Danny Torrance did it as a child.
Yeah.
And then she stands up from the shower, and then Abra walks in and closes the door with the lady lurking over her.
Yeah, the lady loves baths.
I don't know what it is. You know, like
loves
no wonder your skin's all pruny and wrinkly.
You got to get out of there. You got to take a fiver.
It's not healthy for your skin.
No, you can't be in there longer than an hour. I don't think you're supposed to be.
I think you can get diseases and stuff.
But yeah, she's
not the best hygiene.
She was in there. Oh, Carl Lumbly played Scatman Crothers.
Oh, okay.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, he was good.
Dick Halloran, that's his name in the book, in the movie, Scatman.
Oh, Dick Halloran?
Halloran. But, yeah. Well, what do you think about it, Mason? Closing thoughts on Dr. Sleep. Very long movie to say.
Yes, it is. It was like 2 hours and 40 minets.
I have no idea.
2:42?
Yeah, and
I think.
in my opinion, it kind of felt it. It felt it.
Yeah, at times.
It did. Because by the end, I'm like, this movie's going on for a long fucking time. This should not be 3 hours.
No, it shouldn't be. But
the original Shining wasn't 3 hours. Wasn't 240 plus.
No, I think it was like 146.
I want to say it was right around the 2 hour mark. The Shining runtime. We're having our intern check the internet right now.
Jesus Christ. Can you hurry up over there?
I'm going to fire this guy.
226.
226. That is pretty long.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty long. Yeah.
Maybe The Shining just really doesn't fucking feel like it's 226.
Yeah, that's
and this
true.
movie might have felt like it was 246.
Yeah, and Dr. Sleep is 231.
Yeah, so 5 minutes longer than it.
Overall though, as far as like my thoughts on this, at times I loved it. Some of the things we've already talked about, but the astral projecting scene with Rose the Hat, I thought was awesome.
That was amazing.
I love some of the original nods to the Shining in certain elements, certain like, the opening scene with him riding the tricycle down the hallway. I really liked that. I liked, room 237, those things. I thought some of them didn't need to be done, like looking through the door. For me, though, the story was I couldn't tell if they were trying to do Stanley Kubrick's version or the Stephen King version of the book. It felt kind of like torn, both going back and forth, trying to like appease both I guess fan bases at the same time. So it felt a little strange to me. For me, though, just as a moviegoer, I really liked Ian McGregor's performance. Rebecca Ferguson was awesome. The girl who played Abra, Kyla, she was really good. What's her name? Yeah, Kylie Curran. I thought she was great. So for me, I think for me, I'm giving this movie a B. I liked it.
Yeah, I agree where I was torn. Like you said, there were some scenes that I loved at all, and a lot of the scenes where I thought could have been almost completely taken out. I thought the whole side plot of him and Billy going and having to go to the grave and everything, I feel like you might have been able to take that out. It was just a long road trip. And one, he had to go to the grave. Then he had to go back to the house to get the guns. Then he had to go back.
So was
he driving 9 days?
Not only that, but with these gas prices.
Yeah. Not only that, but he was on the East Coast, and he had to drive to the Midwest to get the body. Mm-hmm. And he said it was 12 hours. Remember that?
Yep.
So it was a lot. Like that stuff. And like I said, I thought you could have trimmed out all the other side characters. Maybe keep Grandpa Flick in there. He seemed like he was kind of important.
When he's an OG Stephen King, actor.
And keep him in there. But I thought you could have kept Rose the Hat and kept the Crow, and then just cut everyone out, everyone else out, because I thought they didn't move the story along at all. And like you said, and like I agree also, I thought the story was kind of convoluted, where I wasn't sure if it was the Stephen King Shining or if it was Stanley Kubrick Shining that they were going for. Because I really thought going into it was going to be that slow burn like The Shining is, where it's definitely...
It takes time to develop.
It's way more of a psychological thriller, where this one, again, I think it's more of a dark fantasy film, where it did not...
Totally agree.
It did not have that slow burn at all. It gets into it, right? But it gets into it where I hate is where horror movies get into it, kind of action-y films. Like a big shootout and stuff
There was no need for that.
No.
There was no need for the shootout.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah, and that's where I totally agree with you with the other characters.
It could have been done.
The shootout just felt very weird for this kind of a movie.
It felt like a different movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
Like it was just so weird.
Yeah, so I didn't give it horror good, but I gave it a C+.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not horror. It's probably sitting right out of like a 77, 78 for me.
It was, it's one of those movies where like it is its own complete different movie.
Yeah.
Like it is tied obviously directly to The Shining, but for me it just felt like a different movie.
It didn't have the tone.
Entirely.
It didn't have the tone that Stanley Kubrick.
And that's not saying that I don't like it or that I like loved it, but I thought it was good. Like if you went and saw The Shining, I think you should go see it because I think it's worth your time.
Yeah, like I said, my favorite parts were when it wasn't trying to be The Shining, when it was just trying to be Mike Flanagan's own Dr. Sleep. I'm fine with it being
because he's great with horror too.
I'm fine with it being two separate movies. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to do that, then stick with that.
Yep.
Don't be not sure and be like, oh, I kind of do this to appease fans, and I kind of want to do this because it's awesome. But then you have to keep going back and forth because you're worried that you might offend someone by not having something in.
Yeah.
So I wish it would have stuck with that. Just that straight up.
It's a hard line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's probably, I haven't read the book, but maybe, this might have been the best possible movie that could have been made out of the Dr. Sleep because it's not a horrible film.
No, not at all.
And for us to give even a Stephen King movie a good grade.
Right.
Coming off of, what was it? Pet Sematary.
God, that was so rough. Yeah. Because I love that book. That's probably my favorite Stephen King book. And it's so creepy.
And it's one of those that I've always felt could make an awesome movie.
Yep.
It's one of it because a lot of Stephen King books I have read, I've thought, I don't think you can make this into a movie. There's just too much psychological stuff. But yeah, I've always felt that. But yeah, so we've had It, which was pretty good.
Yep.
And we've had
Pet Sematary.
Horrible.
No. Not a fan.
But we also watched Gerald's Game, which didn't come out this year.
But that was
new
really
to us,
good.
Which is good.
For the material that he had to work with, I was honestly astonished. And that's such an under-the-radar Stephen King film.
I know, yeah.
That, like, when I watched that and the acting between Bruce Greenwood and whatever her name, Gina whatever.
Gina Carano? No?
Yeah, yes.
It's not Gina Carano. Gina Carano's the fighter.
Casino.
It is something like that. Yeah. You're very close. Man, I can't believe she's been in so many things.
I know.
Spy Kids for one.
Spy Kids for one. Yeah, exactly. Spy Kids. Carla Gugino. Yes, Gugino.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, but I've also watched Tall Grass this year, which sucked.
I heard that was bad.
It sucked. So
because I was gonna watch it, but
so we're getting about every other Stephen King movie is good right now, which is a lot better than 1 out of 10 when it used to be.
And unquestionably, I would put this on the good side of that spectrum.
Yeah, if there's for sure. I mean,
and I'm a huge fan of Mike Flanagan too. I like what he's doing, especially with horror. I mean, Haunting a Hill House,
too.
Like, is a great show.
Oh,
every episode is like you're glued to the screen.
He's the king of psychological horror, but also making you feel for people. And that's something that people leave out of horror films. Yeah. They just go for the scares, but that's what Stephen King books do. Is explores the human side of everything.
Right, and he invests into his characters.
It's usually not the thing you're supposed to be scared of. That's the scariest thing in Stephen King books. It's usually the people. And I think that's what Mike Flanagan does best. So I think it's fucking match made in heaven.
Right.
I think this man was born to do Stephen King adaptions.
I think so.
Don't do anything else. Lock him in a room with a and he loves Stephen King. He fucking loves.
Netflix should sign like a 6-movie deal with him and just let him keep doing that kind of stuff.
Just doing Stephen King stuff.
And Haunting in Hill House.
I don't want anyone else. I mean, Andy Muschietti did a good job with it, but he's not going to come back and do another Stephen King book. But I don't want anyone else touching Stephen King at this point. Besides Mike Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan's consistently been good with it.
Yeah, and they have a good working relationship, is what I hear, of him and Stephen King. Which working relationship with Stephen King means you never let him on set. Ever. I mean, that's what I heard in Gerald's Game was he only ever talked to him after Gerald's Game is when Stephen King talked or called him.
No cameo.
No, he doesn't do that anymore. No. Although he did have a cameo in it.
He did have a cameo in it. That's why I brought it up. Because I was like, no, I saw him this year in something.
Well, he used to have a cameo in everything.
Yeah. Sometimes a little more than a cameo.
Well, even the M. Night Shyamalan route, we're like, okay, I'll just star in this movie now.
People are like, okay, you're getting a little too big for this now.
Yeah, and directed a film also.
Hell of a book writer.
He's the Shakespeare of our generation, and I absolutely 100% absolutely do believe that. Yeah. People will be reading his books.
Forever.
300 years down the road.
And there's so
many.
You
read
there's so many.
Like you read a Charles Dickens. I mean that they really are, man. His books are so, and he does have so many of them. And some of them do go a little wonky.
They do.
But he did a lot of cocaine.
He did. And that's gonna mess with the brain a little bit.
And he was a horrible alcoholic is the reason why there's so many alcoholics in all of his books.
Right.
But that's the review for Dr. Sleep. Yeah. It was a long time coming.
It was. That was a lot of fun.
30 years in the making.
30 years in the making, yes.
That's a while.
Getting a lot of these reboot films. Some of them haven't been too bad.
Well, this is an actual sequel, though, that was written for...
Yeah, you're right.
Which I like that.
You're right.
Yeah.
Reboot's the wrong word for that. Yeah, but a sequel rather. But it kind of feels like a reboot of the but I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's not a reboot.
But I don't think we're getting a franchise out of this.
Hell no. No.
Like I don't think we're spanning off 4 more movies. Like this is
They just keep going.
Thank God.
Yeah, it would be a cool TV show though. Hypothetically speaking, if Abra or like somehow they kept moving on with the powers, they could do like a Stephen King superhero show. Like X-Men.
Don't do that.
These are just ideas. You know what? I copyrighted that, so if you guys...
Well, this idea spawned from someone coming out of like a Comic-Con and asking, where is Danny? Mm-hmm. And he's like...
a few years ago.
He's like, you're right. I don't know where he is. And then that spawned out. So maybe 20 years from now, someone will come up to him and say, where's that Abra?
It's like, hey,
20 years from now, he's going to be fucking 100, though, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. He goes, where's Abra? And lays down an 8-episode
I got it
TV
right
show.
here. Yeah, he's just been waiting for that question. Yep. All right, Mason, I got nothing else.
All righty. If you guys are watching on YouTube, it's pretty damn impressive. Thanks for watching.
You figured out YouTube, and you turned on that computer, which isn't an easy feat.
Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell notification. You can find us on Twitter, Seen It Podcast. Cash is on Twitter, that's just Cash. Instagram, Have You Seen It? Facebook, Have You Seen It? Have You Seen It Podcast? You can find our podcast in all audio formats, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. Appreciate you guys listening, supporting the show. My name's Mason Knight, that is Cash Kraus, and until next time.
Bye.